Hi guys, it's Tara Reid. You're watching Joe and Marie all day, all night. YouTube family.
Let's go! How you doing, guys?
Hi! Welcome back to another episode of It Did Make the Shelf, episode 6. And if you tuned in, you're in for a treat. I watched 10 movies this month. The first movie I watched was Gwen. We were both really excited to see this. This is from Shudder. And we're like, oh, awesome. It looks so interesting. This is from Dollar Tree, though. So
Yeah, that's the bad part.
be careful what you get at Dollar Tree. Gwen is a young girl whose life seems to be collapsing around her, struggling with her mother's mysterious illness, her father's absence, and a group of angry villagers threatening to take her farm. Gwen must find the strength to guide her family through the darkness. But as malevolent presence begins to take grip of her home, it becomes apparent that there's a greater evil that may be too strong to overcome. There you go. And this is from 2018. There are bonus features on there. There are 2 interviews, and when I put it in the player, it literally said behind the scenes photo gallery, and then another bullet said photo gallery. I'm like, was that necessary? But okay. It was very slow. The first 20 minutes was quiet. It was like terrible quiet. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't care for the ending. It was kind of sad. I'm not going to say the ending. If you actually want to check this out, go right ahead. If it's your bag, that's good. There's a couple of death scenes. It's just, yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Joe?
My opinion, when I first, like I said, I wanted this movie just by the cover art alone. It really sold me. So I literally had to jump through hoops to get it because my area, to this day, still never got it at Dollar Tree.
Isn't she holding a cross?
Yeah. But then when I put it in and I started watching it, right off the bat, it reminded me of the movie The Witch. And that movie, I didn't care for neither. I'm not a big period person. Even when it comes to horror, it has to be a specific kind of horror and period that I'll enjoy. But certain periods of horror, I just don't care for. And this one being like The Witch, right there, I kind of checked out. I wasn't that interested in it, but the story to me was, I don't know, it really didn't interest me. It wasn't that good. It felt more like a suspense thriller than an actual horror movie, and I just didn't really care for it.
Was this the one that you put in and you're like, oh no, this is not making the shelf?
Yeah.
That one?
I put it in the player, and right when the opening,
the play screen?
Yeah, once the play screen came on and it started showing like clips of the movie, I was like, oh no, this ain't making the shelf. I can
like
already
30
tell.
seconds in, I'm like, really? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Just because of the period, I was just not interested.
All right, well, I give Gwen a 1 star.
I gave it a 1 as well. I didn't, like I said, I didn't care for it. I know some people did like it, but it's just not my kind of movie.
But if you need a copy,
yeah, let us know. But yeah, Gwen might be for somebody, but not for either of us.
All right, the next movie I watched is The Lesson. I actually rewatched this. I don't know why, but it looked interesting, so I watched it again. And this is from 2015. It is a Scream Factory. I'm going to give the back a little read. Finn, a lone teen from a broken family, gets caught up in the wrong crowd of delinquent kids. I can read, I swear. In this chilling horror film filled with white-knuckle suspense. I see you shaking your head. When Finn and his friend Joel act up in class, I'm thinking about you. Their English teacher decides to teach them a lesson they'll never forget. First time feature Helmer with Ruth Platt comes this. Okay, and then it just goes on to say that. Solid horror coming of age. BloodyDisgusting.com. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You can show it. It basically tortures these students because you need to learn your lessons. You need to go to school and get an education. Why aren't you learning this?
Hence the name.
Get it through your thick skull. This guy is like a hard ass. He's like, you got it wrong? you get a boo-boo, basically. A boo-boo is like a big boo-boo. An example would be like a nail in the hand or something like that. It just goes from there, let's just say. It's definitely gory, so if you want some, blood and tying up and gore factor, there you go. The ending was, it was okay, but I've certainly seen worse. There is alternate artwork.
Yeah, I just showed it.
Yeah, the inside. I'm all set with this torture porn, if you will.
Yeah.
Joe?
The first time that we watched it, I watched it with her. I thought it was okay. It was pretty good. I like watching horror with people getting tortured, so it was kind of good. It had a good, similar, kind of premise of, kids not paying attention in school and just the teacher snapping and pretty much taking it into his own hands and pretty much torturing them before, not learning.
It's no slap on the wrist.
No slap on the wrist, for sure. But it was all right. But will I watch it again? It was a good one-time watch. I would say I would recommend checking it out. But as in making a shelf and watching it again, no. I can't see myself rewatching this.
Sadly, I actually rewatched it because it was a while since I last seen it. But I give The Lesson a 1.5.
Yeah, I give The Lesson a 2, actually. So, yeah. It was good. If you want to learn the lesson yourself, I would say highly check it out.
All right, keeping this train moving. The next movie I watched is The School. Can I just mention this artwork here?
Creepy.
In 3D? You don't want to see that in 3D. But A Lesson in Evil. Oh, jeez. I forgot about that picture. Caught me off guard. Yeah, artwork. So this is about an attractive, successful surgeon doctor that struggles to cope with an emergency room duties and those of being a young mother looking after her hospitalized son who has fallen into a coma. After being reprimanded by her boss, obsessively believing that her son will magically wake up, she becomes trapped in a coma purgatory of her own, which is the school, where children from the past emerge and taunt and test her to the core. And can Amy survive the lessons? I was brought back to the last movie, The Lessons. Okay. Can Amy survive the lessons of the school and save those children, her son and herself? Will she learn to play by the rules or die playing? There's some nice artwork on the back. Mm-hmm. There you go. So basically a troubled teen burnt down a section of the school, and that's why there's creepy children that have infested it, and they're haunting. It took me a while to realize that she is in the school being haunted herself. It's a slow start. You have to watch it and pay attention. So the doctor, the hospitalized son's mother, basically has visions, and there's this scene where she's floating down the hospital corridor, and it's just super creepy. It just kind of excuse me, it just kind of stops, and there's 15 seconds of her floating down the hospital corridor, and you don't know what's going on. I'm like, it just looked odd to me. It was super creepy. There were some disturbing scenes in there for sure for me with kids. Again, there was just lots of visions, which made it slightly confusing, and that clown creep on the back. He shows up really fast, and he's just creepy. He's just there haunting these people and kids. The ending was off for me. It was definitely seemed better. Yeah, I wouldn't go to that school. So this former teacher gives this school the all-day pass. Joe, any thoughts?
No, this one I did not see.
You don't need to.
No,
they don't want to see it either. Look at their eyes.
Yeah, after Marie watched it, I was like, I got better horror to watch than this, so I pretty much passed on it. So I pretty much stayed away from the school. I learned my lesson, and I'm not going to the school either. I'll take the transfer and transfer to a better movie. So, what'd you give it?
I give it a 1 because I think they tried.
I give it nothing because I didn't even watch it.
You get nothing.
Good day, sir.
All right, if you're still with me, I still got more movies I watched. Don't Tell a Soul. Sounds really interesting. This is from 2020. I'm going to read the back here. While stealing money to help their sick mother, these teen brothers are surprised by Hamboy, a security officer who gives them a chase and is trapped in a well. And over the next few days, Joey and Hamby forge an uneasy relationship. And Hamby tells Joey he'll keep quiet if Joey sets him free. But Hamby holds another secret, one that will threaten Joey and his family. In this twist-filled cat and mouse thriller. Did I say that was 2020? I probably did. But it's from 2020, the year that must not be named. But anyway, it's a great one-time watch. I mean, this thing kept me watching. I was interested. I'm just going to say, as one little hint, there are a lot of twists. Like, right when you get to the middle, the twists start coming. I don't want to say too much because I actually enjoyed it. But I don't enjoy it where I can watch it again. But definitely a great one-time watch. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I watched this as well. Right at the beginning, I was intrigued. But once the first twist hit, I was hooked. I was on the edge of my seat watching this thing. And like she said, the twist just keeps on happening. There was so much that was going on, and there was so many twists and turns to this movie. It's a really good movie. It's a really good one-time watch.
But once you've seen them coming,
yeah,
I'm all set with it myself.
Yeah. To me, when a movie has that many twists, and you know everything that's going to happen, to me, it doesn't have the impact the second time around.
No.
So it's something I can't see watching again. Like I said, it was decent for a one-time watch, but for rewatchability, I can't see myself rewatching it. So because of that, we're going to let it go.
There you go. I give this a 3.5. I was happy to check it out. We actually do not save everything.
Yeah. I give this a 3. Because like I said, I actually enjoyed it. I think it's a great one-time watch.
Yeah,
sure.
I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
A 3.5. Don't tell us all.
Yeah. So, if you're looking to fall down a well and go down some rabbit holes, this is the movie for you.
He pees on it. All right, this next one is a real treat. This is from Horror Pack, and it is A Night in the Woods from 2011. And Joe watched it, and I said, "Oh, how was it? Should I watch it?" And he goes, "You should pass." So if he said I should pass, I'm going to pass it. I did not watch it. I gave it the all-day pass. I took his word for it. So I did not watch that at all. This is the first.
So, Night in the Woods, as she said, 2011 film. This movie was similar to Blair Witch, kind of. Pretty much about a ghost in the woods. It was pretty much about a couple that they're going on some kind of a hike and they're going camping. And they're going to these woods, and they actually called them, I think it was called the Headless Horseman or something similar to that. The Headless Witch. I forgot what exact name of the actual woods is. But they went into this bar. Like always, when anything happens that you're going into a town, always the bar people or the restaurant people are the ones who have to tell you what's going on, where you're going. And they pretty much went there regardless, and just pretty much all the craziness that ensued, as I always say. And it's pretty much, they filmed it as like a found footage film, similar to, if anybody's seen the fear footage films, or like Blair Witch, that they say, we found, or even the Poughkeepsie tapes, that they found the reels or, the tape or anything like that, and we're just showing you what they saw kind of effects. And it's just, it really wasn't that good. It wasn't really executed that well. The story was kind of weak. It reminded me too much of other movies that are way better. I just named a couple of them right there. And I just didn't really care for it. And the shaky cam was really shaky cam. It was like Cloverfield shaky cam. So it just kind of gave me a headache as well watching it. So I just, really wasn't happy with this film all around. Even if the story was good, just the cam work was just way too shaky for me. That, like I said, it actually gave me a headache. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to let this film go. But I actually gave it a 1.5.
Well, thanks for saving me the headache.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not have to suffer through this movie. I suffered through several others.
Yeah. So
episodes. Way back.
Yeah. So I would say go into some other group of woods and stay away from this one.
All right, this next one has a little background behind it. I do not want to mention it. Once I say the title, you'll know what I mean. But anyway, it is Clown House from 1989. Clown House. Yes, I watched a clown movie. For those of you that have been watching our channel for a while, I do not like clowns. I do not care for them. I don't like to watch them. I don't want them in my house. I don't want them with a mouse. Okay. Teaching skills showing up. But anyway, Clown House. I was curious, so I watched it. The artwork is super creepy. Wicked creepy. The movie is not as half as creepy as this artwork. There you go. I'm just going to give you a little quick synopsis. It's basically about 3 brothers, and the youngest brother gets picked on. He's basically, he's the baby. There's a bedwetter. He's a bedwetter. Okay. And these clowns start showing up. They've escaped, and they're serial killers. And they meet him at like a circus or a fair or such. And he's afraid, and he doesn't want to walk in the woods alone. And so all these scenarios happen with these clowns and these brothers, basically. And I was happy to check it out, and that's it. I'm done with it. The artwork is way worse than the movie, but I still don't like clowns. Any thoughts, Joe?
Clown House. Like I said, for the longest time, I've always wanted to watch this film, but this film in the U.S. was pulled years and years ago because of the director, Victor Salva. If anybody knows the story on Victor Salva and why this movie was pulled, you know the story. If you don't know the story, I would say Google it, because I'm not going to mention it on here. But, he did some stuff. He went to jail. When he came out, he actually did the movie Powder, and he did Jeepers Creepers after that. But this film, like she said, I love clown films. I actually enjoy them. I like creepy clowns.
The only one that squeaks by is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. That one just squeaks by.
But I enjoy clown movies. I enjoyed this one. I thought it was kind of cool. One thing I want to mention also, because when I got this in at IDES in Pittsburgh, a couple people from Australia were saying that this movie was actually never released in Australia, but it has the Australian logo. I don't know where this came from, if it was never released in Australia, for the sole purpose of, because at that time I didn't have it open, but it does have artwork. And the thing is this is a pressed disc. It's not a burnt disc. It's not a BD. It's not a DVD-R. This is an actual pressed disc. So if this is a bootleg, this is one of the best bootlegs I've ever seen, because this artwork and everything looks mint. So I don't know if this was, like I said, a couple people from Australia said that this wasn't released there, but it's kind of hard to believe that they went through this much effort to make a bootleg. So I don't know if it was an Australian release, because I know Region 4 was Australia, Tanzania, New Zealand, maybe one of those countries released it, and it wasn't Australia. So maybe. But back to the movie, as I went on a little bit of a side tangent. But I wanted to mention that just because some people mentioned it. I actually liked the movie. I thought it was halfway decent. Like I said, I know the backstory on this movie and what happened during the filming of this movie to get it pulled. But Marie doesn't care for it. I'm keeping it on the shelf just for
the content behind it.
Because of, I didn't think the movie was that bad, and just the rarity of this film. It's not an easy film to find. Like I said, I searched for it for decades.
Now I can go with that. I give it a 1 because Joe wants to keep it. So
Yeah.
it didn't make my shelf, but
It made my shelf.
so therefore it's back on the shelf.
Yeah.
If any movie that he likes, it makes the shelf.
Yeah.
That's why there's talking dogs.
Yeah. So this one is, I give it a 2, and this one is actually staying on the shelf.
I'm sorry.
But let me mention one more thing. But I would say if you find a copy, check it out, especially if you're into clowns, because it might be a little hokey.
I don't like clowns. All right, the next movie is The Laundryman. He Never Pays for Sex from 2016. This gem came from Ides, PA. I just want to point off first. It's got some lovely disc art. Here's the cover art. Carrie?
The only good thing about the movie.
Oh, I made Joe pretty. Yeah. Wait. Better one? Okay. There you go. It's just a odd story. Lots of kills. I actually watched part of the end in fast forward for you guys. I didn't really care to watch it. So right off the back. Right off the bat right there. Should I give it a read for them?
If you want to.
I'll give it a quick read. But it's basically just kills. The Laundryman is the story about a rather clumsy serial killer. His partly based on the crimes committed in the American serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer and those committed by the Hungarian pastor Andreas Pandry, in combination with the dangers that occur on different chat sites on the internet. From the producers of the cult film Lucker. Okay. Includes bonus feature. A Johan Wildstone film. It doesn't say anything. It just says includes bonus feature.
Yeah.
They went blank on me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot. But yeah, The Laundryman. Intrigued by the title for sure. Slow story, lots of blood. Story was kind of stupid. Like I said, I watched it in fast forward mode. Maybe you're watching us in fast forward right now.
Yeah.
But I think it should have stayed on the shelf.
Agreed.
In Ides. Anything else?
I didn't care for it at all. I thought the story was pretty bad. The acting was bad. A lot of the way that they shot the film, I didn't care for. Just the different angles that they used was kind of weird, kind of hokey.
Can I say it? A little bit of a low budgery.
A little bit of low budgery.
Low budgery movie.
But I didn't really care for the film. Like I said, all the way down to the way they shot the film. Some of the different angles and the weird angles that they used, I didn't care for. And I didn't think it was that good at all. To me, it was just a messy film. And like she said, I wish I would have left this on the shelf at Ides, because now I know I was in the clearance section.
I give it a 0.5 because they had a different disc art. So Lewis and Extine, if you'd like us to send this back to PA,
Yeah.
leave a comment down below.
But yeah, Laundryman. You can't wash this out of my mind. I give it a 1.
Woof. Alrighty. The next one is 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. A shark movie.
We love our shark movies.
Wait for it. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged follows the diving adventures of 4 teenage girls. All their names listed that I'm not saying because I can't read big names. Exploring a submerged Mayan city, once inside, their rush of excitement turns into a jolt of terror as they discover the sunken ruins are hunting ground for deadly great white sharks. I've seen better great white sharks, by the way, than this movie. With their air supply steadily dwindling, of course these scuba divers lose levels of air in their tanks. And the friends must navigate the underwater labyrinth of claustrophobic caves and eerie tunnels in search of a way out of their watery hell. It's got some special features. Diving deeper, 47 meters down. audio commentary and just some interviews with producers and some other people. But it wasn't my bag. I'm not really a person of underwater movies that are mostly just all underwater about you're losing air and stuff. And the shark to me did not look that great. I've seen better. Go watch Jaws. All of them are good. Well, most of them are good. You won't catch me like going down in the ocean, holding on to an air tank and going scuba diving. Not my bag. It was also kind of dark. They were all always down under the water with a flashlight. You couldn't really see everything. A couple of the angles were off, but it had okay images of the shark. It was nothing special. The first one was excellent, 47 meters down.
Yeah.
This one, not so much. Yeah.
I agree with her. Like I said, when the movie first started, I was already waiting to not like it. I didn't really care for some of the girls in the movie.
You're ready to pull the chute.
Yeah, I was ready to pull the chute. Like she said, because a lot of this was filmed underwater the whole time.
Too much. You know,
it was just too much. You lose a lot of dialogue that way because there's not a lot of talking because they all are underwater in scuba outfits. But I just didn't care for it. You know, when the times that they showed the shark, it was just really, I thought it was bad kind of CGI. But it was no Meg or anything like that.
I was just going to say the Meg.
Yeah.
Frenzy.
Shallows.
The Shallows was great.
Yeah. But even, you know, those movies had way better CGI than this one did.
Sharknado was more interesting
than this garbage.
Sorry to say.
But yeah, I didn't care for it. The first one, we like it. We have it in the collection. Mm-hmm. But this one will not make the shelf. So this one is pretty much sinking down to the ocean with the rest of the scuba divers.
I give it a 2 because it's a shark movie.
I give it a 1.5 because it pretty much ran out of air.
All right, coming down to the wire, the second to the last movie I watched was Dead Shack from 2017. It's a zombie movie.
As you can see by the cover art.
Oh my gosh, it's tiny. Right, print. It's tiny print.
That's what she said.
It's shaping up to be a good weekend for Jason, a shy teenager, and he's diving into the cabin in the woods with his brass best friend Colin and Colin's sister Summer, and their father and their stepmother Lisa, who permanently is stuck in party mode, so she tips the bottle a lot. Okay, but things go quickly south with Jason, and they witness their neighbor feeding 2 locals to her undead husband and kids. So realizing their own potential fate, the kids must work together to bash in some zombie skulls and save themselves from the neighbor's ghoulish family. Special features. Dead Shark. See what I did there? Dead Shack. Behind the scenes and the trailer. There you go, it's all yours. There wasn't much of a story. I don't really care for the artwork either. It kind of reminds me of clowns. I don't like it. You can put it down whenever you want. Gross. I didn't really enjoy it. It's definitely not for me. It didn't hold my attention. There are some zombie scenes and them eating people, so I'll give it that. Any thoughts, Joe?
With me, I didn't really care for it that much, just for the story. You know, I thought the story was weak. It didn't really explain it that well. I didn't really enjoy it. There wasn't, you know, it was pretty much a film about some kids, like she pretty much said on the back, about some kids beating up on some zombies and trying to kill them. That was it. There was no other real premise to the story. It came, even the actual story, it came quick right at the beginning of the movie, and it was just pretty much after that, just them trying to fight this family. There was no, there was not much backstory on the characters. So
no, they didn't really introduce the family. They just kind of threw you into it.
Yeah, or even the family on, you know, the husband and kids, how they became zombies and everything else. You really never knew. So there was no, I didn't care for any of the characters. If they lived or they died or anything happened with either side, I really didn't care, just because the way it was written and the way they rushed into it, it never gave you any kind of sympathy towards any of them, or to even root for one side or the other. So,
oh, she's beheaded. Okay.
Yeah, big deal. But it was just, it's pretty much a horror zombie popcorn film. But I just didn't care for it.
If you like zombies,
yeah,
it might be a good watch for you. Maybe you'll like it. I give it a 1.5. I mean, I give it a 0.5 because it has zombies in it. So it gets something.
Yeah, I give it a 1.5 just for the kills. That was the only thing good about it, was the kills. Besides that, just the movie stunk altogether. I didn't care for it. But
I did like the opening scene. The first 30 seconds where they show this house and the car and the scene. That was just a pretty opening.
Yeah. But
it was nice.
Dead Shack. This is one house that got condemned.
Bye-bye. All right, last but not least, we have one more final movie, and it is Night School. Another lesson. And this is A Lesson in Terror. This is from the Warner Archive Collection. It's kind of a long read, but they work by day and the full schedule of classes at night, and they somehow find time for study and the occasional date when women in the evening curriculum at Boston's distinguished Wendell College. Boston.
Massachusetts. Us.
Fun fact. Wendell College, they do a lot to get ahead in life, but there's someone who will go to even greater lengths, someone who will be willing to do anything to get ahead. A killer whose MO is ritualistic decapitation of victims makes terror a required course at night school. And then it just goes into a bunch of directors and stuff. So, just a bunch of kills and figuring out kind of who's doing it around going to night school. Yeah. I could take it or leave it. Thank you for letting me watch it one time. I'm all set with that. It was definitely interesting. Happy to check it out one time. That's it. There's a fun surprise ending though. It was kind of cool. I got a little surprise, but nothing special. Clearly, nothing special. But anyway, Joe.
Me, I didn't get to finish it. So, from what I saw a good chunk of it. I only have a little bit left of it. But I actually, from what I saw, I enjoyed it. I actually like the story. I like a lot of the movies that came out in the early 80s. This one is not so much horror, more of a suspense thriller. There's not a lot of blood and guts or anything like that, kind of like the typical slasher movie. They consider this a slasher. I don't really consider it, just because it's more like
a thinking story.
Yeah, it's more of like a whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of it going up to the kill and then showing the aftermath of it, but not anything during it. So to me, it was more of a suspense thriller, kind of whodunit, like murder mystery kind of film, with some elements of horror, but not really.
I give it a 2. It wasn't too bad. I don't want to keep it, but
I do. So this is staying on the shelf. Even for everything that I saw, the only thing I haven't seen is the ending, and Marie actually liked the ending.
It was a little, I wasn't expecting it. It's 30 seconds of hee hee.
But like I said, this, for me right now, this is staying on the shelf. So I'm actually enjoying this film, and it's pretty much gonna go back on the shelf, and just Marie won't watch it, but I will. But yeah, Night School. This is one school that had no class. That's why Marie didn't like it.
Look at you, stealing the puns.
But,
nice.
But that is everything.
Can you give him didn't make the shelf elevator?
Yeah, but this is everything that Marie watched in the month of June for it. It didn't make the shelf. Well, that didn't make her shelf. There was total of 10 titles.
Hold up.
Hold on.
Okay.
These are the 10 titles. Small elevator. If you've seen any of these titles and you want to comment about any of them, let us know what you thought. Maybe some of them you enjoyed. Maybe some of them you thought were as bad as we did. But, like I said, there's 2 of them that are staying on the shelf. And then everything else is actually going up for sale. So, any of these titles, if you're interested in any of them, leave a comment down below. Or hit me up on Instagram. That in the description down below will be my Instagram as well as my email. Leave me a message and we'll wheel and deal in. I can get these in the mail and going towards you. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. Mm-hmm. But hey, it's like I always say,
somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure.
Exactly. But that's everything for this video. So if you like this video, please hit the like button.
There'll be another one next month.
If you didn't like it, hey, there's videos before and after that are not reviews because we are not good reviewers.
No, but these are fun, and you guys keep telling me that you like them, and I kind of have fun putting them together for you.
Yeah, even though we stink at it, we still try. But if you want to subscribe to us, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. We'll have more videos for you. If you want to leave a comment down below, like I said, just start typing away. But until next time, guys. Bye.
I didn't watch one of them.
I know. I didn't watch most of them because they were that bad. Hey, it is what it is.